And welcome back once again to Community Viewpoint. And if you were here in the last segment, you learned a lot about what's happening in this town regarding our veteran population. And they're out there. We have the veterans that we know about, and there's the veterans that we don't necessarily know about that are in need of a little bit of help, whether they be homeless, whether they be in crisis, whether they have PTSD, or if they've lost their home and they have no way of trying to recoup the losses. There is the Veterans Administration, there's other, the DAV, there's other groups. The group here that Matt and Tammy belong to, Angel in the Dark Crisis Centers, they're going to be doing, pounding the pavement, so to speak, and looking forward to meeting those veterans that are in need. So you, Doctor, you were talking about that very eloquently. Would you like to continue?
Well, I'm not sure how eloquent it was,
Oh,
John.
it was.
But I can say this. We're not going to be doing that. We're already doing it.
Okay, that's even better.
I want to bring this in direct interface. In doing it, we have developed a specific market earmarked to the veteran. We want to make whole vets, whole people, and make them a part of the whole community. But the veteran group is not the only group that Angel in the Dark is interfacing with.
Okay.
They are a primary focus, but Angel in the Dark has interfaced with 11 other groups in this community. We're focusing in on the elderly, not just the abandoned elderly, you know, the ones that we send over to the convalescent hospital and we see them on Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter. We're also concerned with the ones who are being inappropriately treated in what would be called a home venue, in their home circle. There's a high level of suicide amongst our senior citizens.
That was a different show, but I broached that also. Please continue. That's very good.
My Lord, I didn't mean to go ahead and make a side trip. No. I just wanted folk to know that for most of the needs in the community, there is Angel in the Dark. Mm-hmm. My elderly population needs direct intervention. They need help. My teen population needs help. Mm-hmm. There are people in the community who are extricating themselves by means of suicide here. Mm-hmm. Not everyone gets up in the morning and makes a suicide pact or a suicide plan, whether they're elderly, veterans, children even. There's been 2 7-year-olds who have been noted in the news who have felt levels of distress, levels of depression. They found there was no way out and they extricated by means of suicide.
And that's national.
Yes.
But still, it happens here. We got 3 calls a couple of weeks ago with some teens in crisis. So, the numbers are going up, and we need to learn the signs to watch for, and we need to know when to step in and how to step in. And just so we don't forget, we are having an open house, which kind of explain a little bit about where we've been, where we're going, and introducing
how we propose to get there.
Right, and introducing all our programs. Salvation Army, Tuesday, March 12th at 5:30 for refreshments, and the program will start at 6. So we hope to see everybody in the community there.
Where's this at?
Salvation Army, they're kind enough to host it for us.
And where's it at?
On Bowl Street, Buell Street.
Okay. Not where the store is.
No.
Okay, so that I want to make that point. What's the address? Do you know? I know where it's at myself.
Everybody knows where the big building is.
You know what it was in the beginning?
It was a beautiful building
yes.
on Buell Street. I
Right.
believe it's 921 or 721.
Something like that. It's you could find it by calling the Salvation Army also. So
just come down Buell Street and see where all the cars are parked.
It's on the east side of the street. Okay.
Now, while we're plugging,
Marcelino's is down there too, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's across from it.
So if you know where he's at, then you know where the Salvation Army is at.
Now, while we're plugging, there's something also, John, I want to put on the table.
Okay.
Angel in the Dark is freestanding 501c3 C4 corporation. Mm-hmm. We have moved to put ourselves respectfully in this community, and we want to operate as a grassroots community. The idea being, we don't have tons of money, and I know that's not the purpose of this show, But we don't have tons of money. We would encourage anyone who would like to interface with us in terms of being trained, in terms of financial contributions. We can give you all of the paperwork necessary so that you might be in a position to be very much diversified when it comes to next year's tax season, charitable contributions.
Okay.
But very quickly about our program, we offer education and training to the baccalaureate level. Those of you who are concerned about securing a bachelor's degree from accredited universities, you need to call Angel in the Dark. We will train you clinically, enable you to become a professional or a Christian counselor in the community, and enable you with all of the licensing and your degree conferment all the way to the bachelor's level.
Oh, interesting.
See, I told you Angel grew up a little bit.
I know. I've been there, done that. I've been a counselor in my former life, but I'm doing my own thing with AmeriCorps now. So
Yes.
I've moved on to another section of my life. But this is great that you've come up and you're doing that, and hopefully that they're putting up your name and the phone numbers also, so people could find out how to get in touch with this worthwhile organization. And that's just fantastic between all of us. And we have to keep the dialogue going between all of us too, to make sure not only we're on the same page, but also brainstorming what we can do, because we're thinking the same thoughts.
And that's the foundational thing that Mrs. Brownlow made mention of when she talked to me. She says, I want to build a network of people who are concerned here. Everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody's fragmented. Yes, that's the way she sounded. Mm-hmm. And so what she's doing is she's making a concerted effort to touch bases with as many community-based organizations so that we can work together. If we come together with one vision, then we can realize a huge dream. But as long as we're fragmenting independently, all too often, the best efforts produce the smallest results. So we want to work together.
Nice
It's very
concept.
important to work together, and also to train the community to see the signs for suicidal thoughts. And I might be passing you in the grocery, and you just don't seem like yourself, and you can ask a few pointed questions. And then through the training, and it could be a 4-hour training class, you know where you go. It's different than the training that Dr. Matthew talked about. It's kind of teaching the community awareness and prevention through awareness. We're going to start holding those classes monthly too.
So yeah, I get stopped a lot at the grocery store too. If I'm going to look like I'm in a bad mood, it's probably because the product that I wanted wasn't there, and I have to go get a rain check. So if I look
Or
sad,
working full time.
or yeah, a lot of times the product that I wanted wasn't there, so I'm not in crisis all the time.
Well, no, I know you're not, but there are some people
I know.
that tend to. You can see the signs when they start
Yes,
giving
you
away
can.
possessions. If they start,
That's an important.
they're depressed all the time. Ask, and a lot of times, if you're walking in the store or the bank, a smile will go a long way.
Because
So-
by the time they get to my desk and we're interfacing with them, things are pretty serious. So if we can train first responders in the community, and I don't simply mean our public first responders, they're important, they're very important. But John, when you see someone, if you can identify specific signs, not a sign, but a plurality of signs that enables us to be in a position to assess that this person is moving into a state of crisis, then all too often we want to interface, step in, and enable these people to go back up that ladder as opposed to going down into the state of despair.
Right. No, a funny thought. Day after the town board meeting, usually the town board members will look like they're in distress. That soon will pass after a couple of days.
Yes.
Yes, but those things are temporary. What you said earlier that just struck a real large note in me with the elderly people who are. Let's say you have a couple that spent 20, 30 years together. One of the couple, doesn't matter if it's male or female, goes on, dies basically, goes on, and the other person is still here. That person is alone. That person, especially if they don't get out too much, you should look after that person. If you know that they've been with someone for a long time and they're alone now, especially if they're on meds for a long time, are they still taking care of themselves? Are they in a deep depression because they've lost the only person that they've connected with? That's very important, because we have a lot of elderly here. And not only if there's service people, but just regular elderly people. If they're living alone, it's very important we look in on them. And this is a rural area. A lot of things are spread out over here, because that I'm getting up in age. So one of these days I'll be there.
The
but not yet.
alternative is something that none of us want to face. None of us want to look forward to the day that we cross over, we die. But you see, you made another. You hit the hammer on the head when you made mention of the fact that there are a number who live alone. But how many who don't live alone are living alone? Now, I know that's a conundrum. Some people experience a state of loneliness in a crowd. If your significant other or your family social system has been removed from you, you might very well be housed with a group of other people in that same age bracket. But because you are in a state of disconnect with those you love, not just your primary person, your significant other, it might very well be a child, a grandchild, or whomever. But you're not physically alone, but emotionally you're alone. And when you experience that disconnect, then people begin getting things in order. Those signs are always there. And so we want the community to be aware of those signs. We want to train them. We want to refer them to proper care. Because at that time in a person's life, John, is no time to be discarded and thrown away and ignored.
Wow. Okay, I know exactly where you're coming from, but there are a lot of us that understand what you're saying, and there's maybe some people that have watched the show that say, "Hey, I know exactly what they're talking about too." And if you see these people, and if you know that they have a disconnect, even though they're in a crowd and stuff, invite them to go out to Irene's the coffee shop that I just love, the coffee shop on 160.
It's beautiful over there.
God forbid you go to the Nugget for two for one buffet. You pay for it, and that person gets in for free. Something stupid, something simple like that could mean a lot to that person. Ask them to go to church with you, something like that.
Now that's my venue. Take them to church.
Yeah, people who go to church have a tendency to live a little bit longer, and doesn't necessarily mean because of the Almighty, but you're sitting there, you're relaxing, you're in a nice state of mind. So it's not only you're getting a little bit of religion, you're getting a little bit of calming also. So it's healthy for you.
Well, social interaction. So, and that's very important to our well-being. And that's why we stress to the community. I know there's a lot of support groups out there, maybe just, a couple hour classes that they would be interested. Maybe it could be parenting. Maybe it could be my kid's getting bullied. What can I do about it? Give us a call and we'll put it together. The more calls we get on a particular subject, the higher on the list it will go. So give us a call, 702-266-4926, 775-990.
4163.
Thank you.
All right, the half hour's gone too fast. Thank you very much for being with us, and thank you for watching. And give us your comments, okay? At Smith's or Albertsons or wherever. Bye-bye.
Thank you.